If you've ever had the misfortune of watching right wing media, especially Fox News, chances are that you've seen some ads for survival gear, dick pills, and gold. In no certain order, by the way. Yeah,
Tighten up my meat. I like my meat tight.
for the people who can't get their meat tight. Okay, but anyway, one man, Terry White, ironic, who is a regular viewer of Fox News, decided that he would listen to one of these ads. No, not the dick pills ad that I know of, and decided to buy into the so-called gold rush for gold coins. He ended up being a big fat loser, losing a gigantic chunk of money because he didn't read the fine print. The disabled retiree put about $174,000 of his assets into gold coins that he had saw advertised on Fox News. The result is that he ended up losing $70,000 on his investment. Wow. In an interview with the Washington Post, White explained that he had invested his money in a gold coin venture called Lear Capital without realizing that the firm had charged a 33% commission on all transactions. Holy shit. Again, talk about the need to read the fine print. Wow. Look, I've seen some of those commercials for gold, and I'll be honest, I got a pretty good nose of sniffing out bullshit, detecting BS. And that's not to brag. It's not like I haven't, made my own mistakes and all that, of course, but not everybody has that ability. And these companies, well, they know that and they take advantage of it. And that's exactly who these people, these companies go after. They go after people who maybe don't have that sense. Oftentimes, older people, retirees, people who are not quite savvy when it comes to scams or trust in where they're seeing these advertisements displayed, and Fox News. I mean, they ran My Pillow ads and gold ads all the time, and it's not just Fox News, but a lot of right wing media depends on those types of, scammy Survivor esque advertisements in order to make revenue. So now, the Post's report notes how Lear Capital and other firms like it have been blanketing the airwaves of right wing media programs for years and pitching gold coins as a way to protect life savings from a always soon to becoming dollar collapse. The dollar is collapsing. The dollar is going to be destroyed. The dollar is going down. The dollar is going to be worth less than a ruble, so you might as well get some gold coins. Protect your investment with tangible gold because that fiat currency is just going out of style. Hasn't happened yet. Um, an analysis by the Post of political newsletters, social media, podcasts, and a national database of television ads collected by the company Ad Impact found out that pitches to invest in gold coins are a daily presence in media that caters to a right wing audience and often echo conservative talking points about looming economic and societal collapse. Pretty much. I got to tell you, like, that. Okay, so like, there's a lot of talk on lefty circles about like, oh, you got the black pill doomers, right? Nothing's ever going to change. Everything's going to be terrible, horrible. You think those people are black pilled? Look at the right wing. Look at the things that they talk about. They're in doomer mode just about all the time, especially during Democratic administrations, mostly. But again, this is one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons that they are. Depending on what you watch, a lot of the far right is constantly talking about how America is besieged. America's besieged by immigrants, migrants. You got a migrant caravan that's coming. You got a migrant caravan that's going to replace you. It's going to replace you. It's going to steal your job. It's going to replace you, and then probably have sex with your wife. And then you'll be, I don't know, where you're supposed to go, and you're replaced, right? Um, and all that's happening while, of course, you have communist, infiltrators. That's right. That's right. You got
Pink-haired communists.
they're coming to take over, and actually they've already taken over. They've already taken over all of the institutions. That's right. And they're destroying the country from within. It was all started with Barack Hussein Obama.
Obama.
That's where it all started. That's where it all began. The societal collapse. And then if you don't fight back, and that's before they take your guns, because you know they're going to take your guns. So you have to fight back before they take your guns. If you don't, you're going to end up in Stalinist prison camps, being forcibly transgendered. Well, you know who they are. Of course, you know who they are. Bracket, bracket, bracket. While they drink the blood of your children to get that sweet, sweet adrenochrome. Oh, yes. That's what you get from watching right-wing media. It's insane. Insane. The right wing currently, as of today, is a rabbit hole of white grievance and conspiracy theories. One of them being the collapse of the country due to leftists and leftism, which is nowhere near in power. But again, what happens, like the right wing, I've talked about this before, have set themselves into their own little rhetorical safe space, right? Bubble. Okay. And what they do when they're there, I mean, when you're in a bubble, things start to go extreme. Okay. You go more and more extreme on rhetoric. And that's what the right-wing media has done. Fox News, Rush Limbaugh, Newsmax, on and on and on. They go even more extreme in the rhetoric and even more extreme in the conspiracy theories because it scares people. It scares people. It gets them to watch. Gets them to also buy advertisers. When the advertisers' products when they sell gold and survival gear and obviously the dick pills because of course
Sexual anarchy.
I can't have sexual anarchy without dick pills. Well, you can, but anyway. But hey, if everything else is falling apart, at least you can still get hard, right? It's the constant fear-mongering propaganda. And lately, Fox News, and we've covered a lot of this, they're on this weaponizing of the Justice Department. And the thing that I hear them say is, well, if they could do it to Donald Trump, they could do it to you. I got news for you, Sparky. They could always do it to you. Always. They could have always done it to you at any point in time. The people that they don't usually do it to are people like Donald Trump, people who are wealthy and powerful. I mean, and by the way, generally, they don't do it to you unless you do crime or unless you're a leftist that wants to end capitalism. They really have a problem with that. And that said, these people, they buy into the obvious scams and they end up sometimes disappointed and very hurt. In fact, White expressed some disappointment with Fox News, which he believed wouldn't take a commercial like that unless it was legitimate. Oh, you sweet summer child. you lovely, believable soul. You're so close, man. You're so close. Oh, you're so close. Now remember, Fox News has a history of lying. They've had to admit to lying to their audience about the election. For example, they had this entire nearly $800 million lawsuit settlement from Dominion Voting Systems, in which a lot of their text messages and emails to each other revealed that pretty much nobody at Fox News that was reporting on the so-called widespread massive election fraud actually believed in said widespread massive election fraud. They just didn't believe in it. In fact, they even insulted some of the viewers, calling them backwards, hicks, things like that. And so, and this guy, though, he probably didn't hear anything about it because all he does is watch Fox News. And he's like, I don't know. I didn't think that they would ever air something that's not legit. No, that's kind of Fox News' business model, airing things that are not legit. Now, White's wife, Jean, a little bit more critical. She said Fox News was being negligent in airing these gold coin ads that end up bilking viewers. So I'm sure that's the harshest you can get, Yes. They're being negligent because they're no, it's not negligence. They're just straight up lying and making a profit. Again, those advertisers pay for those spots to be featured on Fox News. So, but look, here's what I'm hoping for though. Stories like this, first, will get out, obviously. And I'm hoping that these stories are a wake up call to people who consume that type of media. Uh, I don't have a problem with conservatives. I disagree with them on policy issues, and we all know this, right? But I don't wish any ill will towards conservatives in their personal lives. I don't hate them, believe it or not. I disagree with them, and I think they themselves are a kind of victim. And they're victims of their own doing, of course. They're people that have sequestered themselves into one reality, and which is not real. It is an alternate reality where fear is dominating their daily life, fear and hatred. And at imagined threats, kitty litter, boxes in the classrooms for children that identify as cats, when in reality the kitty litter boxes were actually there in the case of a mass shooting that kids can use when they're hiding from a murderer who got their hands on a weapon, an AR-15, very much legally. And there's that. But look, the victims, they're victims of privilege in a way. At least they have privilege. They're convinced, of course, that they're being victimized by the other side, when it's really their side that happens to be doing a lot of the economic victimization. Their side lies to them all the time, passes bills that are against their own personal, economic interests, rips them off, bilks them, and then mocks them behind their backs. We've seen this all. We know this all. And then, while doing it, they, to their face, tell them things to scare the shit out of them, to keep them watching, to keep them interested, to keep them waiting for the other shoe to drop, while telling them to buy gold and wait for the end of society. Fox News and right-wing media, though, they've had horrible results for society, not just society, but again, the average viewer. This has broken up families. People have watched their loved ones turn into hateful, bigoted people because of the crap that they see on every time that they tune in. And that's not including the people who get stuck down these conspiratorial rabbit holes, like QAnon, for example. They're still waiting for JFK, Junior or whatever, JFK to come back. And sometimes it does take something drastic like this, like losing your shirt, which, not literally, but figuratively, in these bad, scammy investments that you saw advertised on Fox News, to, get shook out of their bubble. All it takes is the thought of, well, if they can lie to me about this, then what else can they lie to me about?